Hello, hello, and I hope I find everyone very, very, very well today. Before we get started, guys, let's go ahead and get the usual out of the way. Remember, guys, that this is a general reading, so please take what resonates and leave what doesn't, and please never, never, ever, ever force anything regarding your unique situation. And also as a reminder, everyone, that regardless of what is said or relayed or stated today, remember to always trust your own intuition and gut feeling, for it'll only lead your soul and your spirit to supreme happiness. God will always be with you within every single situation, trial, and tribulation. But ultimately, it is your decision to allow His involvement. If you'd like to book a private reading, go ahead and visit www.intuitiveperceptions.com and visit the services tab. And also when you're there, please utilize the little chat function that I have there, so I can go ahead and communicate back and forth with you, and we can go ahead and advise or provide the best service regarding your unique situations. Okay, let's go ahead and bless the decks and we'll get started. But Father God, I open all channels of light, north, south, east, and west. Guardian angels of the four directions, high councils who serve the law of one. Holy pure ones, please anchor this space now in your divine consecration to provide Cancer with the clarity and direction as to which he or she seeks today. And please grant me, the reader, the objectivity to read the cards and relay every single message as they're meant and or intended to be this month. Okay, Cancer, so in terms of traditional tarot, we have the Ten of Swords reversed, the King of Swords reversed, the Hierophant reversed, the Six of Wands reversed, with the Page of Wands reversed. Cancer, this month, for April, I'm really picking up and I'm really seeing you kind of putting your foot in your mouth, Cancer. Let's not do that. I hate to be so judgmental and like throw that out there like that, but Cancer, if you've been subscribed to me for a while, thank you for your support. And if you're new here, welcome. You guys know that I've been saying, I've been mentioning this fire, Cancer, that you're implementing into your sign. It shows and it manifests, month after month. And we have the Page of Wands reversed here. And Cancer, this month is going to be a real big month for you in terms of boundary lines. But, okay, yes, in terms of the boundary lines. But what I'm really seeing here, Cancer, is other people and even yourself lacking understanding. Whenever I see the Six of Wands reversed, my initial inclination is to, kind of conclude that you don't feel understood right now. You don't feel like you're on an even playing field with other people. And also the Six of Wands reversed can speak of you not being recognized for the things that you do. And I feel, Cancer, like with your whole spread here, I feel like there's an aspect here. There's a bit of an aspect in terms of, Cancer, not conforming to the situation. Now, I'm not saying that you have to completely conform, but I feel as though, Cancer, there's this resistance. There's this, I'm going to say not going with the flow. And you guys know that I'm not the one to say, let's always just go with the flow and, no, stand in your truth. But I see standing in your truth here, Cancer, but at the same time, I see defending it. And we should never have to defend our truth, Cancer. The minute that we feel like we have to defend it and we have to scream and yell about it and we have to come out of our element to get our point across, that immediately means, Cancer, that we don't believe it ourselves. And you could be dealing maybe with Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or have that in your chart, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or other placements. You could be dealing maybe with a Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or have that in your chart, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or other places. But besides all that, Cancer, I mean, there's this element here too of saying what's on your mind, which is not the problem, but saying what's on your mind, but in a very derogatory manner, and almost just saying, well, that's what I think, and that's that. I'm not yielding. You know, and it's like that type of delivery, like that. I'm kind of picking up here. And it's okay to stand in our truth, and it's okay to, you know, stand in our convictions, but there's a graceful way of doing it. You know, there's a more diplomatic way of doing it. And when I see the Ten of Swords reversed, sometimes it can elude, and I feel like it holds merit here in this spread of pretending, Cancer. Pretending that it doesn't hurt. Deep down inside, it hurts. You know it does. And, you know, you're implementing this fire, and it's great, and it's been going on for a while, and it's okay, you know. It's a journey. But Cancer, I mean, I want to cut you some slack here, you know, and say, you know, it's a learning method, you know, it's you're going to be learning this over time, but I mean, Cancer, when you cut deep like that, you know, in the end, you know, you don't really feel too great. You know, and I'm not saying that you're weak, Cancer, or that you are you can't stand on your 2 feet. That's not what it is. It's just, you could have other placements in your chart. Of course, we all do. But if Cancer is predominant in your chart, you know, you're not an air sign. You can't keep up this cutting and this very berating manner, berating way of delivering your truth and your messages and what you feel you need to get out. Because an air sign can keep that up, you know? They'll just cut, okay, this is what they'll do. They'll turn the emotions off, they'll cut and walk away. And just be like, so? But Cancer, you care, and that's okay. That's not a bad thing. That's your sign. You're the sign of, you rule the 4th house. It's the house of home, of structure within the home, caring within the home, love within the home. You know, astrologically, you're also ruled by the moon, emotion, you know, like all of those things matter to you, Cancer, and it's important to you. And when I feel you may come out of your element, you may lose yourself, you know, sometimes, and the emotion may be becoming too much for you, instead of taking a step back, Cancer, and really just saying, okay, I need to digress here, I need to remove myself from the situation and regain myself back up, you know, in terms of emotionally. When you keep going forward with it, Cancer, you're going to say things that you necessarily don't mean, you know? And I'm not saying that you're the only one that does that. Everyone does that. All signs do that, you know? But you just take it more to heart, and that's okay. That's not a bad thing. So I feel this month, Cancer, let's be more mindful this month of what we say and how we say it and who we say it to, you know? Now, when I say that, I'm not saying to be afraid of anyone. It's just be more mindful of the after effects of how you are going to feel afterwards, you know? Which also means, or which also coincides with standing in your truth. We can stand in it, Cancer, you know? And that's cool. But we have to, you know, take a step back and think before sometimes we do or what we say, because then the after effect is just as, or it can be just as detrimental as the action. And sometimes the outcome is even sometimes a little bit more detrimental, because then we ruminate over it. And an intermittent moment of satisfaction, Cancer, is not it won't be fulfilling for time to come or for a certain amount of time afterwards. But I'm really picking up establishing your boundary lines, Cancer, and making sure that you establish them, so and you don't cross them as well, so that when situations arise, you know when you need to take that step back because you've already established them and you're saying, I'm not going to cross this line. Because then that's when we feel like we've compromised ourselves. And I know I mentioned conforming in the beginning of the reading in terms of the Hierophant reverse, but when I look at this now, I'm kind of concluding that it's kind of more of conforming to what you don't want. You know, and also still what I said at the beginning of the reading, of course, not wanting to conform in terms of knowing your limits, knowing your boundary lines, knowing when you need to step back. And I really just feel that you being understood, Cancer, is very important, you know, because then that's when you feel like you're in your element, you know, and then you can then be that Cancerian individual that you are, and that caring person, and that loving person, and that looking out for people and supporting people and seeing your family succeed, and you know, all of those things that make you happy, Cancer, and that you find fulfillment, enjoyment in, you know, and find enjoyment. I can't speak today. And find enjoyment in. But Cancer, if you don't understand yourself, we can't expect other people to understand us. And then when we don't understand ourselves just in general, that's when we feel compromised. And then that's when we embody the King of Swords reverse. Very judgmental energy, very just swinging that sword around and just saying, I mean, I'm not saying that what they're saying is untrue, but it's more of to cut, to hurt, to go for the jugular, to, you know, and the only time, Cancer, that you really ever get like this is when someone really messes with your family. Because that would just, whoa, you lose it at that point. And that's understandable. But don't lose it to the detriment of losing the majority of something because of that moment of anger, you know? Which we all go through those moments of anger. Right? I mean, you know, who doesn't? I feel bad for people who don't go crazy sometimes, you know, but it's how we do it, Cancer. It's how we deliver it. It's I'm also picking up our intention may be benign and it may be wonderful, but sometimes, Cancer, the delivery's off, you know, and a lot of it does come from passion at the same time, you know. I'm also picking up here too, Cancer, that I don't want to sound judgmental here and sound like the King of Swords reversed. But Cancer, like, it's great you want to help people and you want to support them. But sometimes, Cancer, you know, you put ultimatums or limitations upon your help. It's like you say, okay, I'm willing to help you, but we're going to do it A, B, and C. That's how we're going to do it. And we're not yielding towards, you know, away from that. And if we're helping someone, Cancer, we don't further apply or put restrictions on that person. Because then they're back at square one. We help when we help. We don't have any expectation because of it, in terms of what they do with it. Now, I mean, there is some expectation in terms of being respected, of course, which goes back to the boundary lines. But my main point here, Cancer, in saying this is, or bringing this up to you, is because when we help from our heart, and you know how to do that. But just don't put limitations on it and don't compartmentalize it, you know, in terms of we're going to do it like this and this and this and this and this, and if you don't like that, then I don't know, you know. That's when the intent is great, but the delivery is off. And I feel, Cancer, that behind it, it's love, and behind it, it's caring, and you just want to see this person succeed. But be careful, you know, be more mindful of how you say things, how things are delegated. Be careful of pretending, you know, that everything's fine. Because you don't feel understood and you try to help other people, you may then further or perpetuate the putting confines on certain things in terms of helping other people or helping situations. You may be a little bit more irritable, and then those characteristics in terms of control start to manifest and start to present themselves. Overall, Cancer, I just feel like this month for April, just be mindful of our actions and be mindful of drawing our boundary lines, Cancer, and knowing that you can't cross it. And you can't always take responsibility for other people's actions. That's where you have to draw your line in the sand and say, I'm not going to cross that. And that's okay. It doesn't mean that you don't love them or that you don't support them. It's just you have to maintain your sanity throughout the ordeal. You know, you have to love yourself with integrity throughout it. And that's just what it is. And when you do this, Cancer, that's when you will be understood. You may not be understood from other people initially, but you'll understand yourself and you'll be comfortable in your decisions and your morals and your ethics based upon your own beliefs. Then you're not compromising yourself within the situation, because then that's when we become perturbed, and that's when we become the Page of Wands reversed. What's interesting is there's a little butterfly here at his foot here. So fragile, you know, but yet can go up in flames. And I feel like this is who you are, Cancer, and that's okay. But just be careful with that sword, you know, especially if you do have air in your chart, and a lot of air. I mean, you know, it's easier to go there and to get there. But just don't compromise yourself this month, okay? Draw the boundary lines, and that's okay, and that's fine. And no one should expect you to step out of your comfort zone, and no one should expect you to cross your own boundary lines, nor should they cross your boundary lines, because if that is the case, or if that is so, then more than likely those people don't need to be in your life, Cancer, and then you can then readjust your approach at that point in time. All right, Cancer, let's go ahead and pull Jesus card, see what he has for you. All right, Cancer, so here's the card for you. Have faith in God. I mean, Mark 11:22. That's really what it is, Cancer. Faith in his timing and faith in that everything will work out fine. We need God, Cancer. A higher power, Cancer. I mean, if we could handle it all on our own, we wouldn't need him. So we need his help. We need his guidance. But his guidance, not his dependency, you know? And when we start to pretend, and when we start to just, you know, say, well, this is what happened and this is how I did it and whatever. That's how I feel, so whatever. You know, when we start doing all that, that's not having faith in him. That's not taking the higher road and being the spiritual self that you know you are, Cancer. God wants full custody, not just weekend visits, Cancer. Okay? All right, Cancer. Just be mindful this month, okay? All right. We'll see you next month.